This is probably the most important thing that I always carry with me when I go out on the sea. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I'm out here just driving around in the Olympic Peninsula. I'm staying out at my folks' house in the Hood Canal right now. It's pretty stormy. It's been rainy and the wind has been whipping, churning up the seas, and it's just been pretty gnarly. But it got me thinking about all the gear that I like to take while I go sailing. I just wanted to share a list of 12 things that I find essential for when I go out on a passage or when I go out on the sea. These things are things that are very tailored to myself. However, I still find them very important overall for not only sailors, but for traveling of any kind of sort. So I'm gonna go in depth on all 12 of them and tell you guys why I think each one is important and why I bring it with me, and hopefully inspire you guys to get some of the gear and upgrade some of the stuff that you have, as well as just get inspired to go out and sail as well. So I'm gonna get back to the house here, and then I'll dive straight into the 12 pieces of gear that I bring with me while sailing. Let's go. All right, so I'm back at the house now, so let's kick off my list of 12 items that I take with me while sailing. So the first thing I have on my list is the thing that I carry all of my gear in to start with, and that is going to be the Pelican 1610, which is right here. So I love this case for many reasons. It's heavy duty, it's waterproof, and it does more than just carry things. It protects all my gear from the elements, be it weather or anything like that. And it really is just an essential piece of kit, and that's why I have it as the first thing, because again, I carry all of my gear in this. Pelican makes a really good product. Also, it's lightweight, so you can take it on airplanes. It's well within the airline luggage restrictions, and I just love it. It really gives me peace of mind getting my gear from A to B. That's always a plus. Protecting the gear is always good. Pelican does good work. So up next is number 11, which is knot lines. And this is often a underestimated piece of kit, but also very essential for any sailor. And as someone who's been practicing the art of knot tying, I can attest to the importance of having a really good set of lines to be able to practice. And I love having this 3 branded line right here, because not only do I get to practice the knots I know, but I also can learn new knots that I can use for any application that's needed. So I have right here is a long line for practicing, say, a bowline or a clove hitch, stuff like that. And then I also have these other lines right here, which I use to practice my splices. So whether it's securing gear or rigging sails or improvising repairs, it's always good to have some line lying around so that you can practice knots or use it for any other application you need. So up next we have number 10, and that's a dive knife. And you may not think this is an essential piece of kit on a sailboat, but in reality, this has more than one application than just using it for diving. I do use this when I do go diving for hunting for fish and stuff like that. I also use this to clear debris from underneath the boat, whether it's a line fouled in the prop or anything else on the keel or anything like that. This really comes in handy to be able to cut debris or scrape things off. And I really love this knife specifically because it has a serrated edge right here and then a normal blade right there, and then also a really sharp point, which I love, but just make sure you don't stab yourself like I did. And then also the handle is really ergonomic, which is nice. It really fits well in the hand. It's also painted orange, so you can find it if you do drop it, and then a lanyard that helps make sure that you don't drop it. So then it also goes in this really nice sheath right here, which you can attach to your leg with these straps, so you can keep it on your leg, run hands-free while you're diving or whatever. And as a little added bonus, I also carry another knife right here. This is just a normal Kershaw pocket knife. It's about 20 bucks on Amazon. And I got this just for a normal utility knife that I can have on my pocket whenever I'm on a boat. It really comes in handy for just cutting things, any kind of utility. So I always keep this, and I don't really care if it gets salty or if I drop it because it's a cheap knife, but it really does make a difference when out on the sea. Now, number 9 is really special, and nothing gets me going in the morning than a nice hot cup of coffee or a cold beverage while watching the sunset. Number 9 is a Yeti coffee mug, and I really enjoy this because it's double insulated and keeps drinks really piping hot, or it also keeps drinks and ice. It actually holds ice in its form for hours, as well as many other things. And I currently have coffee in it right now, and I'm enjoying. And it really is a must-have for whenever you go sailing, especially on long passages where you need to stay awake during the night or during the day. And I just really love the Yeti one specifically. They really make a quality product, and I've just carried this one all over on many trips with me, and I really enjoy having this mug with me whenever I travel. So for number 8, let's talk fishing gear. And I think it's a must-have for any sailor, and if you love fishing as much as I do while on passage, this is an essential piece of kit for anyone in their toolkit. So right here I have a bunch of different things. So this right here is my yo-yo line, and it has about 100 feet of fishing line connected to a trolling lure right here. And this is one that I've used on many trips and many times out going out in the ocean. It's caught me a lot of really good fish, and it's been really awesome. And it's pretty easy to use. All you gotta do is just set it out behind the boat, let it drag for a while, and eventually you'll probably get a fish. And I have many times with this specific line, and it's done me really well. And so a couple other things I have here are my fillet knife. I really like this one. I got it at West Marine, and it really holds an edge well, but it's also a really flexible blade. So that's really nice to be able to get nice thin cuts when you're cleaning and processing a fish. Make sure you get all of the meat off of the bone so no meat goes to waste. So I really enjoy that. And then up next here as part of the fishing gear is my shears, and I also got these from West Marine. And these are the Cutta shears, the titanium non-sticks. These are really nice because they can cut through basically anything that a fish will have, bone, fins, stuff like that. So whenever I'm cleaning a fish out on the sea or back from fishing, I always use these, and they really come in handy. And finally, this addition is unexpected, but also pretty essential to my fishing kit. And this is just a normal sail tie. So what I use with this is whenever I catch a fish and I bleed it, I take this, put it through the mouth and the gills, and basically once I'm done cutting out the gills and cleaning the fish, I let the fish hang with this and let it drag over the side so that it really drags in the water and cleans the fish out of all the blood, making the meat better and more quality for whenever you are ready to eat it. And it's really not that bad. It's a simple piece of gear, but I love using it, and it really does the trick of getting the fish nice and clean when you're out on the water. Now, number 7 is a really important piece of gear because as the sun dips behind the horizon and darkness comes around, it's important to have a reliable headlamp. So this is an invaluable tool to any sailor when you're navigating on deck or you just need to work on repairs in the engine room. Basically, where you need to have your hands free, this is essential to lighting up the night or lighting up your project. So this is really a game changer. I love this headlamp from Petzl. Main reason is because it is rechargeable, and I can't tell you how many times I've used the disposable battery ones where I have to keep changing the batteries, and it gets really annoying having to carry extra batteries. So this is really nice because you can just plug it into a micro USB to the DC outlets anywhere on the boat, and it will charge within an hour, and it really helps just the ease of use. Not only is it illuminate really bright, it has 3 brightness settings for illumination, but the best part is having the red light feature. And for those of you that know, red light is essential for at night when on the sea because it really helps with your night vision. And having both white light illumination as well as red light is very important, and this is why I love this Petzl headlamp. So number 6 on my list is a Leatherman. And when it comes to versatility and functionality, there are no other tools that I really wanna have in my kit than a Leatherman. And it has many different features that you can use for doing projects around the boat. It has pliers, has a whole plethora of other tools, a knife, a saw, screwdriver, stuff like that. And really opening them up, you get to see all the functionality that it has. But not only that, there's a hidden use that I even just started using it for, which is for deck fittings. And if you know, deck fittings on a boat are basically coverings for your water and your fuel, all that stuff on deck. And if you can't access it with the deck key or you lost it, this really comes in handy with the pliers, and I've used this many times already, and I almost like it better because you can just stick it down into the deck fitting and basically twist it that way, and it has better leverage than just a normal deck fitting where you just have it in your hand. This has a more firm grip right here, and you can actually twist a lot better. So I really like it for that application as well. And as far as tools goes, this is probably one of the best, in my opinion. So number 5 is just a normal compass. And in a world where GPS navigation reigns supreme, there's something timeless and reassuring about a traditional compass. And whether I'm plotting a course on charts or just using this as a backup, it's always good to have a compass with you when you travel on the sea. Say the boat doesn't have a compass, or the compass is broken, or your GPS on your chart plotter goes out, it's always good to have some sort of backup compass like this so that you can always find your bearings and find your way home at the end of the day. So having something like this is nice. I've had this compass for a lot of my life, honestly, and I always carry this with me, not only on sailing trips, but whenever I go anywhere on land or internationally. It's just one that I always keep in my backpack. So it's really nice to have. So number 4 on my list is deck boots, and a sturdy pair of boots like these are worth their weight in gold. These are the Gill short boots right here, and I love these because they are not only fully waterproof, but they also help keep your feet warm. And if you wear pants all the way down, your feet are totally enclosed right here, and you will keep all of the water out and all of the moisture. These are also non-slip, so you can walk around on deck knowing that you won't slip and fall in the harsh conditions or when it's raining, and it gives you peace of mind to make sure you don't fall overboard, as well as keeping your feet nice, dry, and warm. And so I really like these. These have come in handy for me a lot while on the sea. All right, so moving on to number 3 on my list is just more foul weather gear. And right here I have my jacket as well as foul weather bibs, and this is also from Gill. I really like this jacket because it is really, really well crafted and made. It is basically completely waterproof and has come with me on a multitude of trips. It has a lot of different pockets in here for holding stuff and keeping it dry, as well as keeping your hands warm. And these bibs as well also come all the way up. So when you pair the jacket, the bibs, and the boots all together, you really have a full protective layer around you in the foul weather conditions. So you stay dry and warm while you have to transit on the open sea through weather or whatever. So I really like these Gill. They make a really good product, and you have to pay a little bit more premium for it, but I think it's worth it investing in the gear because it will not do you wrong when you need it most. So number 2 on my list is a personal flotation device, or PFD. And everybody knows safety first and how paramount it is to be safe while out on the water. And I really like this PFD right here. It's from West Marine. It's nice and slim, so you can still wear it over your foul weather gear. And it is the inflatable type, so you have this cord right here, which then you pull when you need to inflate it, and then a CO2 cartridge right here will release the gas all the way around into the vest, and so it will instantly inflate without being too bulky and hindering of your movements like some other life vests, like the ones with foam. So I really like this. It's slim and it's comfortable to wear over gear. And then also you have your lanyard right here, which connects to the D-rings on the life vest. And this is good to have always when you're moving around on deck, not only in harsh conditions, just in general, because basically these keep you attached to the boat at all times should you slip and fall over, and at least that way you're not going completely overboard and you can get rescued back onto the vessel. Whereas if you didn't have this, you could fall in and be swept out to sea, and that could be a pretty dire situation. So having this combo right here, both the vest and the lanyard, is a very big must-have when you're going on the sea. And so now we're at number 1 on my list of gear, and this is probably the most important one that I always carry with me, and that is my Standard Horizon handheld VHF radio. And I love this radio for a multitude of reasons. For one thing, it has this big heads-up display right here, which then you can see and access all of the features. Not only that, is that it has really good range, so you can really get in contact with vessels that are relatively far away compared to other radios. You can also access the weather from NOAA, which is great. You can access an FM radio, which is also good. And I always carry this with me because being able to communicate on the water is paramount when you're sailing for safety, and as well as being able to call for assistance if you need. And you can also receive vital weather updates.
Small craft, 5:30 Thursday evening.
Or calling to the authorities like the Coast Guard if you need assistance. So this is a very, very, very important piece of kit that I always carry with me, and is one of the first things I put in my bag when I go. I never leave port without this. So there you have it. Those are my 12 things that I always take with me while going sailing. And whether you're a seasoned skipper or a landlubber that's dreaming of going on the ocean, it's always good to invest in quality gear. And I really hope I inspired you guys by showing you some of the gear that I use, so that you can go out there, do your research, and maybe get some of the gear that I showed you here, as well as find some other stuff that works for you while you travel. And so if you have any other suggestions for me on gear that I should bring, or gear that you like, let me know down in the comments below, because I always like to take suggestions from people, and always learning about new gear is fun. And if you guys want to check out any of the gear, I'll have links to everything down in the description below. And if you found this video informative, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with more videos I release in the future. And as always, fair winds and following seas, and hope to see you out there in the world. Peace.